Today I'm going to show you how to write an algebraic proof. We're going to take those properties that we learned yesterday and we're going to apply them to doing a two-column algebraic proof, two-column proof. And this is what it looks like. I have a given, which is the equation, and a proof, which is the answer to the equation. So what we're going to do is the first thing that we always write down is the given, which is 3 times 5x minus 4 equals 7x plus 4. Draw a nice straight line. And our reason for writing this down is, of course, given. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to solve this equation step by step. And each step we're going to list the reason of why we've done that. And that's using the properties we learned yesterday. So the first thing I want to do to solve this equation is to distribute. So this is going to be 15x minus 12 equals 7x plus 4. And since we distributed, this is the distribution property. Okay. Next up, I'm going to choose to add the 12 on both sides. So I have 15x equals 7x plus 16. And the reason for me writing that down is the addition property of equality. Okay. Next up, I'm going to subtract the 7x on both sides. And I get 8x equals 16. And I'm going to write down the subtraction property of equality. And my last step, I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides. X will equal 2. And the reason for me writing that down is the division property. Of equality. And we look at the last one, x equals 2 and x equals 2, so we have proven that correctly, and we are done with our first two-column algebraic proof. So I have a couple more examples to show you, so you can see a couple of different types. Okay, this next one, the very first thing, we write down the given. So we have 3x plus 7x plus 2x plus 12 equals 40. Okay, and the reason for that is our given. Okay. First thing I want to do here is I'm going to combine like terms. So that gives us 12x plus 12 equals 40. And the special word that we use in proofs for combining like terms is simplify. Next up, I'm going to subtract 12. So I get 12x equals 28. So that's the subtraction property of equality. Next, I'm going to divide by 12. So x equals 28 over 12. So that's our division property of equality. And if we notice we have 28 over 12, we have to simplify that fraction. And that simplifies to be x equals 7 over 3, which is our proof. And our reason for this is simplify. And now we are done with that proof. So you see an example with the simplify added into the proof. All right, let's do another one. We start with our given as always. 2 times x minus 10 equals 12. My reason is given. This one, what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to distribute. So I have 2x minus 20 equals 12. So I'm going to use the distribution property. Next, I'm going to add on both sides. So I'm going to have 2x equals 32, and that's our addition property of equality. And the very last piece is I'm going to divide. And x equals 16. That is our proof, so we're good to go. And our reason for that is the division property of equality. All right, I have one more example, and what I'm going to do with this example is I'm going to show you a certain way in case you solve a certain way or start a certain way. I'd like to show a special property that you can use, and you'll see once I do it. So let's start with our given, 3x plus 12 equals 8x minus 18. Because depending on where you start your problem, if you add or subtract something, depends on which properties we use. So not every single person's proof is going to be exactly the same. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to subtract the 3x. And you may do something differently, that's okay, but I'm just going to show you how this one works. So we have 12 equals 5x minus 18, and that's our subtraction property. Of equality. Okay. Next, I'm going to add the 18. And I get 30 equals 5x. And that's our addition property of equality. All right, next I'm going to divide. Now be really careful because you really want to put that x first because it's just natural to you to put the x first, but you cannot put the x first because in a proof we have to line it up exactly as we see it. So this 30 divided by 5 is 6 equals x. You have to put it exactly like that. Okay, so that's our division property of equality. Okay, so now what we have to do is our proof says x equals 6. Our x is first, so we have to flip it. And that's why I said you can't flip it when you're doing division because it's its own separate step. So be really careful. If you flip something, it has to be its own separate step, and the property for flipping is the symmetric property of equality. And that's it.